Hello, my name is Lisa. I have recently written a book. It's called Light Connections. It is available on Amazon, and I am a life trauma coach. I specialize in grief and life traumas, anxiety, stress, post-traumatic stress disorder, and those of us who have encountered relationships with narcissists. The narcissistic personality disorder is extreme. To those of us that have experienced that relationship, you're left pretty devastated and stressed out and exhausted. And a lot of times you feel like you have no one to speak with because your friends, your family, they mean well, but usually they don't have a clue as to really what you've been through dealing with a narcissist and being in a relationship, like dating one, marrying one. Um, the effects are months and months, years later. You will never forget your relationship with a narcissist, and you have to learn some coping mechanisms, and you also have to learn a great deal about yourself. And on top of that, you have to learn the game that the narcissist likes to play with us, especially if you're an empath like myself. Um, and if you're not sure if you're an empath, there's a wealth of resources out there on the internet, especially YouTube. I love YouTube. They have great videos on whether if you think you're an empath, you're not sure. It's EMPATH. You can look it up. If you have recently come out of a relationship that left you drained, exhausted, angry, just really devastated, and you're just trying to figure out what just happened. Everything was so great. I was almost thinking this person was my soulmate. Um, and that they a lot of times they leave just as fast as they come in, and you're left standing there like just completely befuzzled. Why are they acting like this? Why was it so great and then all of a sudden it was so bad? Chances are you have just left a relationship with a narcissist. So first of all, pat yourself on the back that you're out of it. But second of all, you've got some work to do. And you need to learn the rules of the game, because games are no fun if you don't know the rules. The narcissist absolutely knows what the rules are because they have made up all the rules. So dealing with a narcissist is what I term a life trauma, because you'll never forget them. You'll eventually move on after you learn your coping mechanisms and after you learn the rules of the game. Make no mistake, the narcissist knows the rules, they made them up. And they're banking on the fact that you don't know them. You don't know them, who they really are, and you don't know the rules. So once you know the rules, you need to go back out into life and play life, knowing that there's a lot of narcissists out there. Um, you not only you have to date one or marry one, you could start a new job and realize that something is way off here. A lot of narcissists are in power positions. They're bosses, they're managers, they're presidents of the company, um, and they have to be in that power because that is one of their main things. Is they're always on this power trip. And if you're an empath, you look at life completely different, and you don't think about life and see it as they do, because it's like you're on two different playing fields. And it's like the more you do and the more you give and the more you love and the more you try to understand and be understanding, the worse the relationship gets. It's like no matter what you do, you're wrong. No matter what you do, it's not good enough. So you absolutely, I call dealing with narcissists life trauma. I specialize in bringing people to the bridge if they're not already at the bridge, getting them across the bridge and going back out into life knowing the new rules. And the the bones of it is that you may have tried counseling before. You may have been on and off antidepressants throughout life, and it helped a little bit, and that helped. This helped a little. That helped a little. Um, but you're still at that bridge, and you can't seem to get across it. And that's where I come in. I have been searching and searching and looking for answers for years. I've tried two different counselors. They were great. They did help me, um, but they did not complete the puzzle. There was always a missing piece of the puzzle. Um, Antidepressants. I was on and off antidepressants for the last 15 years, um, and it did it help? Yeah, it helped a little bit, but the side effects were not what I wanted to live the rest of my life with. So I was still seeking my answers. I was still looking for that piece of the puzzle. So I am have dedicated the last several years of my life looking for those answers and seeking out um, what I need to do to find that missing piece of the puzzle. And the experiences that I have and working with other people um, has has helped me develop a system that will help you get to the bridge, get the tools that you need that's right for you. Everybody is different, and every situation is different. So you need to figure out what works for you, and don't stop until you get that answer. It's all about seeking the answer that's right for you. And so that's a little bit about me and what I do. Back to the video, which was wanted to put out a video about narcissistic personality disorder. It is now recognized by the American Psychological Association. You can look it up. Like I said, YouTube has a lot of great videos about narcissistic personality disorder. You can watch some of those videos and see if that is what's going on in your relationship that you just ended, and why you're so strung out and you can't seem to let go of this relationship even though it might be over. Um, and the other person has obviously moved on. A lot of times they move on before they even end it with you. That's part of their game. They've always got to have one in the loop and one in the pocket, sometimes two in the pocket. It depends on, the person. Um, the narcissist always wants to leave their person flat on the floor, flat on their face, devastated, grief stricken. Um, they like to do things and say things that make you wonder, am I going crazy? Am I starting to lose it here? They enjoy those things. They enjoy those games. It is all a game to them. And they they hardly ever leave you with any closure. They never sit down with you and have a conversation face to face or on the phone usually and say, we need to end this relationship because XYZ. They never do that. They never want to give you closure. They do that on purpose because at some point they want to come back around to you and see if they can pull you back in to their game and to their little harem, and see if they can kind of keep you in the garage, keep you on the side. I think one of the terms now is called side chick. Um, so the narcissist is not given closure on purpose. They want to devastate you. They want you completely depressed, angry, sad, confused, and they skip off into the sunset without giving you any closure. Um, because they've already got something else lined up, and we all know what that something else is. They want to keep you in the harem garage so that they can pull you back out when they need you. And it's all about a game. It's all about how useful you are to them. And a lot of times they will discard you um, before you can discard them. They operate from a very, very immature standpoint. A lot of them are like 8 or 9 year olds emotionally and mentally. Um, a lot of them have experienced an extreme trauma in their childhood. Usually, it's a form of abuse, sexual, physical, a lot of emotional abuse, neglect, um, that has caused this shift psychologically in them when they were a child. And that's why mentally and emotionally they are 8 or 9 or 10 years old, and they never grew up emotionally and mentally, um, because of that trauma. I'm not saying that because we need to feel sorry for them. At some point, as we move through the process of healing ourselves and forgiving ourselves for getting involved with these people, um, assuming that you dated one, married one, etc. Um, at some point, you will have to understand why you did it and why you ignored the red flags. That usually there's a lot of red flags there. At some point, you will understand why, and you'll need to forgive yourself. And then after that, you will need to forgive the narcissist, because they are an 8 or 9 or 10-year-old person inside that grown-up body. Um, that is not excusing the behavior. There is no excuse for the behavior. You have to absolutely view them as toxic. You have to view them as poison. Um, if you were walking down the street and you saw a big hazmat spill across the roadway, are you going to walk right through it? No. You're going to go around it or turn and run the other way because it's toxic. That is exactly how you need to view um, a narcissist and people that have tendencies of narcissism, because there's low ends of the spectrum and there's high ends of the spectrum. um, the relationship that I ended, he was on the high end of narcissistic personality disorder. He has a lot of sociopathic tendencies. That is something else that you kind of need to educate yourself on. A lot of these sociopaths are narcissists, and a great deal of narcissists have sociopathic tendencies. Um, they can get violent. They fly into rages very easily. A lot of times you're sitting there having a normal conversation, everything's fine, and they'll fly into a rage and start yelling, or maybe even picking up stuff and throwing stuff, and you're just sitting there like completely flabbergasted, like what's going on? We're just sitting here talking about the weather, and your narcissist just flew into a rage. Why is this happening? Why? They're flying into it. Narcissists, that's another one of their tricks of the trade. They fly into rages. Sometimes they don't even know why. A lot of times it's to gaslight you. Um, it's something that you have said, could be, very generic, but it triggered something in them that made them think she's figured me out. She's on to me. So they'll fly into this rage to gaslight and pull you off of the path that they think you're on. So a lot of it is gaslighting. That's another term you can look up and educate yourself on. The gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse. Um, I had a little bit of gaslighting with the narcissist that I had a relationship with and ended in the past. A lot of it was just abusive. He would go from angel one day, sweet as an angel, um, to the devil. Then within minutes, or within, one day it was great, one day it was terrible, like I was dating the devil, and by the end of the relationship, you didn't know what you were getting. By the end of the relationship, I was looking for excuses to not see him. I was looking for excuses to not go out and have dinner with him, because that was another way for him to abuse me, was out in public. He, loved to get me out in a restaurant, and act very vile, either to me or to the server, the waiter, or the waitress. Um, and he knows that, that is something that embarrassed me, that you would go out in public and act like that when there's no reason for it. The food is fine, the drink is fine, the service is fine, everything's fine. And then he would switch, like turn it on and off a light switch. He would switch and either get extremely rude and nasty with me at the restaurant, or he would wait until the server would come to the table and get extremely rude and nasty with the server, the waiter or the waitress, and for no reason. It was just a game to humiliate, belittle. He was very into belittling, and the emotional abuse was extreme by the time I got out of it. And I still to this day don't know if he discarded me or I discarded him. I don't know. I was so relieved when it was over that I felt like a 500-pound weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. But at the same time, I realized that something was extremely wrong because I still missed and I longed for, a part of me still longed for him and missed him. But then the bigger part of me was like, what is wrong with you? You should be so glad this is over. And I was glad it was over. I knew I had to get out of that something was really not right with that relationship, and something was really not right with this guy. And um, the that sent me on the path of trying to figure out what is going on. And I finally realized what narcissistic personality disorder was, what a narcissist was, how they operate. Um, they you could put 50 narcissists in a room that don't know each other and grew up in different parts of the world, and just about all 50 of them would have about 80% of the same characteristics, almost like they were related, or almost like they grew up together and went to the same school and went to the same church and everything. That's how bizarre narcissistic personality disorders is. Very bizarre. Um, the one that I had was, like I said, he had a lot of sociopathic tendencies. Um, we when it ended, it was he kind of went missing. He left me alone for I would say probably 2 months, which I was fine with. By the time those 2 months, 2 or 3 months rolled around, by then I had realized what he was, and that I realized then that I was an empath. And I understood what that was. Then came the stalking. Um, the stalking continues to this day. He drives by my house every couple of weeks, every couple of 5 or 6 weeks, every month or two. I'll see him drive by. I live on the corner of a pretty busy street, so there's traffic coming and going constantly. But he kind of knows my time frames. When I go to work, when I come home from work, what times I take the dog out. What times of the day. The dog usually goes out the same time. Every day to that I'm walking the dog. They learn all that about you when they're dating you. They'll watch you. You'll catch them watching you, like they're studying you, like they've never like they've never seen a person before, you know. But they're studying you. They're studying the way you move. They're studying the way you think. They're studying what your likes are, what your dislikes are, because they want to love bomb you, that's another term. That's why everything's so great in the beginning and so bad in the end. The beginning is nothing but love bombing. They're just, what they're doing is they're mirroring back to you what you like. And whatever it is that you dislike, oh, they dislike it too. And you're just kind of like, wow, me and this guy, we're on the same page. And, we're just clicking, and, I zig and he zags and everything's great. Was because they've spent so much time studying you, and they're mirroring back to you exactly what you want, what you're looking for in a partner. They're just giving it to you. not because that's who they really are, but that's because that's what they know you want. And so their whole goal is just to suck you into the web, to pull you into that spider web. And then once they get you into the web, they play with you for a little while and then it's over. Um, Narcissists do marry. A lot of them don't. They're playing the field. They can't be loyal. They can't be monogamous. A lot of them don't marry because they know it's not going to last. And then a lot of them do marry because the one that they're marrying is such a the term is called a good source of supply. Um, they'll marry whoever is a great source of supply for them. Um, I don't like that using the term, I don't like using the term doormat. A lot of videos will talk about a good source of supply as somebody that is typically a doormat. I don't like that term. I don't think anybody goes through life choosing to be a doormat. I don't think anybody goes into relationships saying, well, in order to keep this relationship alive and to keep this person in my life, I'm going to have to be a doormat. I don't think anybody does that. I don't think anybody wants that. Um, the do we compromise ourselves and our morals and our values a lot of times to be in relationships with these people? Yes, we do. We're not doing it most of the time consciously. um, the narcissist wears you down over time so that you are kind of given a lot of your morals and your values away. um, if a video wants to call it being a doormat, whatever. I'm not into that. Like I said, I'm into bringing those of us that have been brought to the bridge and can't get across it to get to the other side, so we can move on with life. That's what I'm all about. That's what I've been about for years, and um, my knowledge, um, a lot of it has come from God, which is my higher power. I have sought answers, um, and I have received the answers from my higher power and from the angels, from the divine. A lot of people call it the collective. Some people, feel more comfortable talking with the universe. It does not matter to me what you call your higher power. Um, the point is that our higher power, mine, yours, does not want us stuck in this. They want us to learn our lessons, learn who we have just dealt with, so that we can get to the bridge, get across it, and get back out there in life and vibrate on that highest energy level, because there is a lot of darkness in this world. A lot of it is brought on by the narcissist. And you might hear my dog snoring over there. I don't know if you can. I'll show him. I'll show him in a minute. Um, the uh, the darkness in the world, a lot of it is caused by the narcissist. A lot of it is evil. I mean, don't feel bad if you've come out of a relationship with these people thinking, God, he's so evil, or she was so evil. How could I have been in a relationship with somebody so evil? Don't beat yourself up about it, because what they presented to you in the beginning to suck you into that web um, was anything but evil. And we are human, especially if you're an empath. You don't go around looking for evil people. You typically like to not think that there is evil in the world. That's just for the movies. That's in the movies that you see on TV or whatever. But unfortunately, it's not just in the movies. It really is out there. And if you have ended a relationship with a narcissist, you know firsthand evil does exist, because they will do and say some of the most evil things to you, for different reasons, to gaslight you, to keep you depressed, angry, upset, sad, um, sometimes just for their amusement. They are evil just for their amusement. It's very dark energy, very dark energy. Um, my book is called Light Connections. I wrote a book, and light connections. I named it that on purpose because it's all about connecting with your light, um, tapping into your light, and um, getting yourself across that bridge. And the evil in the world does not want us to tap into our light. The evil in the world does not want us to overcome this and go through it and come out the other side a better person. And I honestly believe that we all need to figure out how to tap into that light. If that's where you're at, figure out how to tap into it, overcome it, come out the other side a much lighter, happier person, even though there is such darkness and evil in the world. We need to bring our light back into the world. And I truly believe our higher power, which for me is God, that's what He wants us to do. He doesn't want us stuck in this at all. And did He put us in this? I don't believe so. I believe everyone has free will. We were all put here, brought here, born here, whatever your beliefs are, to have free will. The narcissist has free will. The narcissist has free will to go out and do evil or to go out and not do evil. They choose their path, but we also choose our path. So with that being said, I think I'm going to wrap this up. I think I've went way longer than what I intended to, but it's all about tapping into your light. Um, the the book that I wrote is 4 different stories. I've changed the names just to protect, people's anonymity. All 4 stories are true. They're true stories. Um, Different scenarios, and they, it deals touches a little bit with narcissistic personality disorder, grief, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and grieving the loss of a loved one, and a sudden death. A lot of people that have experienced a sudden death of a loved one, a lot of times they go through the grieving process, and they may go through counseling, and some people, they need more. They need more. They need something else. There's still a piece of the puzzle that's missing. I think losing a loved one, you know, through a sudden death, a sudden unexpected death, is very traumatic um, for the rest of your life. You never forget that person. Your life changes, because you realize we're here. We can be here one day and gone the next. None of us really know um, how long we're here. And that's another good reason that we need to get across that bridge, get to the other side, and not go through life bitter, and not go through life being angry at the narcissist, or being angry with God because, you know, He took such a wonderful person at such a young age. They had the rest of their life to live. Why did He have to, why did he or she have to go? There's a lot of questions. We get stuck a lot of times on why, and that's another thing that I can help you deal with when you get to the bridge, get across the bridge, and come out the other side. Is focusing on where you're at. Hopefully, being able to find out what area that you're stuck in, and then taking it forward. Um, I, I also, I think you can tell by my video that I don't I don't hold anything back. I'm very honest about what I believe. You don't have to believe what I believe, but just be open to that my beliefs are mine and yours are yours. But we absolutely owe it to ourselves to overcome the grief, the traumas, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, um, dealing with narcissists that have left us emotionally devastated. And we absolutely owe it to ourselves to heal from this and move on and come out and not be so angry and bitter and distrustful. It's very hard to get out there and start building relationships again with people when you have ended a relationship previously with a narcissist, because you feel like you can't trust anybody, and you feel kind of like, why should I trust anybody? Why should I go out there and start dating again? Look at what happened. Yeah, it did happen, but it doesn't have to happen again. Um, so please feel free. I'm going to put all my information at the bottom below, and feel free to reach out to me if you feel like any of this is resonating with you. Um, the uh, the the aspects that I have typically have dealt with and um, have come through with a process of how to get through it and come out the other side, as quickly as possible, and be a better person for it, and not just say that you're a better person for it, but really you feel it in your heart. All of this has come from me tapping into my light, my higher power, which is God, um, the angels, the collective, the divine. A lot of times I'll call it the divine, the collective. I do get messages from them because I have put myself out there and opened myself up to receive the light, to receive the answers. I'll ask the questions and I'll receive the answers, um, usually within a couple of days. Um, so if you feel stuck, if you feel like you've tried counseling, if you feel like you've been on and off antidepressants, for X amount of years, and something is still not, you know, something is still not quite right. Um, just I want everybody to know that if this is you, if any piece of this is you, that there is an answer. There absolutely is an answer. You've got to, you owe it to yourself to find that answer and see what works for you, um, and reach out to me and let's try to work through it. Let me see if I can assist you in any way. The angels, my guides, the angels, they have left me messages. They've sent me messages. So I feel like I need to do what they say I should do. Um, they're like, they told me you have answers. There's people with questions. They're struggling. You owe it to them because we have helped you. Now you go out and help others. So that is where I'm coming from. Um, and if any of this resonates with you, um, just reach out to me and let's see if we can work together. I would love to work with you and see if I can help you in any way, shape, or form. If you feel stuck, if you are trying to move forward from something that has really been sad and depressing, devastating, just know that you're not alone. When I was going through all of this, I felt so alone. Um, and it literally took God telling me several times that you're not alone. And He found a way to get that message to me. I'm tearing up. So, um, because the light is there, you need to tap in. Um, if you feel comfortable with me, I would love to help you. And help you tap in. And until you can tap in, I'm going to tap in for you. That is what I feel very strongly about. That you can tell. Hopefully, you can tell through this video how passionate I am about all of this. It touches me in a way that is very rewarding, and I absolutely know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. There's no question. So anyway, that's I need to wrap it up. I've already said I need to wrap it up, but I'm definitely gonna wrap it up this time. So, and excuse the accent, but I can't help it. I am born and raised in the deep South. I lived in Atlanta for about 12 years, and I came back to South Carolina a couple years ago, which is where I was born and raised. So I am home now. This is home for me. I am a Southern girl. Um, and probably, every time that I am going to be working with people going forward, it's going to be on, Eastern time. I am, on the Eastern time zone. So that's, you need to keep that in mind. Um, you know, if considering what part of the country you're in, versus where I'm at. So everything, I operate from Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time. So anyway, the I think that's kind of one of the main things that I was concerned about doing this. But God told me not to worry about that. That is logistics, to work it out, or He's going to work it out. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there because that's what He told me to do, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it all up to Him and the divine and the angels. They've sent me way too many messages. Um, and they said 2020 is it. People are searching for answers. They have questions. They need they need to step into the light. They need to tap into the light. It is time for those of us, especially us empaths. It is time for us to unite, and it is time for us to step into the world with our power, because we are way more powerful than the narcissist. I can absolutely tell you that. They are cowards on the inside, and they try to cover it up with the grandiose behavior and the boasting and the lies, all the lies they tell. Is to cover up really what a coward they are inside, which is another reason they won't give you a closure, especially to your face, because they're such cowards. Empaths are very, very powerful people. Um, if you are not sure about that, you need to watch some videos and see if you're an empath. And once you watch a couple of videos about that and compare it to the narcissist, you will have no doubt of the power that you have inside, energetically speaking and emotionally speaking. Um, so the fact that you are still here and you're watching this video, and some of it is probably resonating with you, and you're not devastated and on the floor like maybe you were, a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, whenever. Um, that tells you right there how powerful you are. So you need to know that you are very powerful. You're way more powerful than the narcissist, and you need to hold on to that, because there's going to be some dark days that you're not going to feel very powerful. You're not going to feel very energetic, and so there's going to be several things that we will work on, and you will need to remember that and hold on to it, because trust me, you're going to need it. But anyway, I love you, even though I don't know you. Um, and if you have come out of a relationship with one of these awful narcissist people, give yourself a pat on the back and say, thank you, God. Thank you, higher power, um, for watching out for me, and that I'm not in it anymore. But you do need to heal, and you do need to learn the rules of the game, and you need to come through it and come out the other side and not be a bitter, angry person, and not carry the weight of the world on your shoulders either. Um, a lot of times we were meant to meet them. That is another thing that you and I can get into. I can explain it probably a little bit better, depending on each person's, everybody's different. Everybody's relationship is different, case different, scenarios are different. But a lot of times we are absolutely meant to meet them. And if you don't know why in the world you were supposed to have met somebody that awful and that evil, I could probably pinpoint it to you very quickly, on a case-by-case basis. And then later on, you're going to absolutely be looking at the whole relationship completely different. And keep in mind that they come back around, usually. It could be weeks, it could be months, it could be a year or two later. Like I said, it's been a long time, and mine still stalks me. He still rides by the house and looks, and has pulled into my driveway several times, wanting to talk to me. I just turn around and keep on walking. I completely ignore him, because narcissists hate to be ignored. They want attention any way they can get it, whether it's good attention, bad attention, doesn't matter. They want attention. So I never give it to him. He gets no attention from me whatsoever. I don't know how long it's going to take for him to get the point that he's not going to get any attention from me and quit stalking me. Um, but anyway, hopefully it will be soon. But I know the reason why I was supposed to have met him. It took a long time for me to figure it out. A lot of questions, but I'm a Gemini. I ask a lot of questions. I always have, and I won't stop until I get my answers. Um, so you know, once you realize that and get the knowledge, that oh, that's why I met him or her. That's why I was supposed to have dated him or her. There's, it gives you power. Knowledge is power. And we absolutely have to go into this world with the power and the knowledge, um, so that we can let others know. Um, it's probably more than likely you're probably going to, as you go through life, you're going to meet people and make new friends, and they may be coming out of a relationship with a narcissist, and you can say, I know exactly how you feel, because I have been there and I have felt that too. We are supposed to support each other. We're supposed to stand up and um, link arms and like brothers and sisters of uh, you know brothers and sisters of empowerment. We're coming from a place of empowerment. Um, and eventually you'll have to forgive the narcissist, um, more for you than for them. We all know that forgiveness a lot of times is for yourself so that you can move on and heal. But eventually, you'll realize that you probably were supposed to meet them for a reason, and the reason is blah 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 XYZ. It could be different for everybody, um, and you'll forgive them, um, probably because you're going to realize that you're an even better person. Um, you know, it took a rough patch there, but you're a better person for actually meeting them and coming out the other side, because you won't ever be the same again, but you're going to be better. You're not going to be worse, and you're definitely not going to be bitter, because there's no point in it, in being bitter. um, I hate to say, a lot of people would say, oh, you're better off without them. Well, yeah, you are. You're better off without them in your life, um, but you're going to be a better person for going through what you went through and coming out the other side. So feel free to reach out to me, and if you feel like you need a couple of sessions. I'm really big on energy healing. I'm really big on coaching through your specific situation. There will need to be several phone calls, so that I can tap into your energy and find out what you've been through, where you're at, and how best to move forward, so that you don't get stuck. That was one of my things, was I was stuck. I got stuck, and went through what a lot of people call a dark night of the soul. Well, I went through it. I absolutely felt alone and had nobody to talk with, um, that understood what I was going through, and understood how devastated I was. Even though I was glad the relationship was over, it made no sense. It absolutely made no sense. I thought I really was going crazy. So I'm here to tell you, you're probably not going crazy. You're definitely probably not going crazy. Um, there's another seed that they have planted that they were hoping would take root, was that you are a crazy person. And more than likely, you're not a crazy person. So, just wanted you to know that you're not alone. Hang in there. Um, I am definitely tapped in, tuned in, turned on. I can receive messages, from the divine, from the universe, from God, about these situations. They've made it abundantly clear that we are not supposed to stay in this. We're supposed to come out the other side healed, happier, and able to bring it to fruition. So anyway, I love you guys. Reach out to me if you need me. Um, you deserve it. And your friends and your family deserve to have you whole again. Um, they won't understand more than likely a lot of the stuff that you've been dealing with and kind of what you're going to be going through as we work through the process. But it's okay. Nobody needs to understand um, because when you come out the other side, you're absolutely going to be even more beautiful than you are now, and that's the whole point. That is absolutely the whole point. Um, so reach out to me if you need me. I would love to help you. Like I said, I'm tapped in, tuned in, I'm turned on. And that's about it. That's all I've got to say. It is February 20th of 2020. And God told me to go ahead and do this, get it started. And I think it's a synchronicity to 2020. So here I am, I'm doing it, even though I'm kind of under the weather today. And it's snowing here today. We never get snow in the South, hardly ever. And it was snowing today on February 20th of 2020. So anyway, I love you. As you can tell, I love to talk. But anyway, hang in there. You're not alone. You will come through this. And let me know if you need me. And let me jump in there and do some healing work with you right off the bat, as far as energy healing, and that which a lot of times brings you a little bit of relief right off the bat. Like if you're not sleeping good, you're struggling with your appetite is either too much or not enough. A lot of people, experience weight gain, weight loss, going through this stuff. So I like to jump in there and do some energy healing right off the bat. I do not need to be face to face with you to do this. Like I said, I tap into your energy. And it's all coming from source anyway. It's all coming from, the higher power that absolutely wants us healed and moving forward and to be out there and be of help to somebody else that may need it. So that's what I've got for the time being. And the dog is snoring really loud right now. So anyway, greetings from the deep south. And you guys hang in there. And that's about all I've got for this video. I'm going to do another one on post-traumatic stress disorder and grief, losing a loved one. Sudden death usually is very traumatic. I'm going to do another video on that at some point and get it out there also. All this is new to me. I'm very technology challenged. So bear with me as I do these videos and get them out there. But God told me not to worry about that. Just do it and put yourself out there, because there's people that that we all need to link up. We all need to know each other in one way, shape, or form. And so here I am, offering my services to you guys, and that's all I've got for now. But I do want to tell you, I am ready, and I hope you're ready, and let's roll.